talking to the thief. There's too much confusion, and I can't get no relief. Businessmen, they drink my wine. Damn, man, they dig my earth. No one ever heard of mine. Nobody after this world.
Welcome, everyone, to Drama Watchtower. I am your host, Devious Dave Rose, and I am joined by... Great way to fuck up the intro of the first episode, Dave. I am joined by the one, the only, Cman. And that, who we were just listening to, is known as Jay Howie. And he does an amazing rendition of All Along the Watchtower. And you are here on episode 1 of Drama Watchtower. Thank you for joining us, C-Man.
What's up, Dave? It's good to be here, man. It's a fucking cloudy, gray Sunday where I'm at, so perfect day to be inside and report what I've been seeing as of late.
Well, it's an overcast day here, and the humidity is pushing me to levels of insanity that I never thought possible. We have, about 38 degrees centigrade, a feeling, but for you Americans, that means 100 freedom units. So... in my old age, 41, since I've already, I'm over the hill, according to certain Bostonians. I'm basically just worthless right now, and the heat just incapacitates me. So.
Yeah, you're an old piece of shit, Dave. How dare you be fucking 10 years older than someone? Your opinions are automatically invalidated because of your age.
Normally in Canada, people like me would just be put onto an ice floe and just set out into fucking the ocean in the Arctic. And then, eventually, nature becomes one of us again, so. Or we become one of nature, I should say. See, that's how the heat's affected me. I can't even fucking speak straight. I sound like a typical fucking Walmart American, like Bullfrog.
Yo, fuck Bullfrog. Fuck him, man. The amount of flip-flopping I've seen that dude do this past week is insane, even for him.
Yes.
Like, there's so many ways we can take the conversation about what's been going on this past week, because a lot has been.
You were right. It was
going
fucking
on.
Christmas this past week. We got everything.
Yeah,
we
that's
got Christmas, Kwanzaa, fucking what's the Jewish one? Hanukkah. We got it all, man.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen a week like this. I think the last time a major happening like this was when me, Travis, and Tony all called into Joe's, and then just the chaos that ensued from that. Like Good point. Fucking Danny MT calling in with the steak dinner bit, and just everything that followed after it. This past week has felt just like that, and it's amazing how much like Bullfrog has been at the center of it in a sense, because we had the whole Sean's View situation that popped up. We have Bullfrog over with YR.
I would say fizzled. I would say, when in reference to Sean's View, I would say fizzled, because this has to be brought up right now. Is the fact that fucking Sean's View for 7 fucking years is droning on and on about CM Punk, about how he's returning to WWE. He finally returns to wrestling, but it's to AEW, and all he's got is a video that's under an hour?
Bingo, and they had spent all week fucking hyping up Tony's big debut as a co-host on a Friday night with the CM Punk stuff, and then he shows up, does 40 minutes. Tony doesn't even show up, but you can see him in the fucking chat trying to cheer up Sean, because I guess Sean was all fucking pissed off about trolls calling in, this, that, and the other. So it seems like it only took, the YR guys were over there 3 days before that entire fucking thing just fell apart. It took 3 days. All this hype for a Friday and a Saturday show. Like, Sean didn't even go live. It was SummerSlam last night, and no sign of Sean's View aside from I think he posted a couple
post-show
fucking
review. What is that?
Yeah.
Like, you would think that he would be on top. Like, Joe was even airing during the fucking thing. Ken was airing during the thing and reviewing it and stuff. And you would think of all people, Sean's View, who on one of his videos recently was like, well, all these people hate me and stuff, but when they weren't doing nothing, I was doing all these things. Yeah, 119 fucking thousand viewers, and all you can garner is fucking 39 live concurrent viewers. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, that should tell you all you need to know about the quality of Sean's View to begin with. And then when you go over to Sean's View, his past couple streams, it's barely even him. It's literally the YR program hosted on the fucking Sean's View channel. So I can imagine why he's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm not going live, because I think it's safe to assume that at least for the time being, he's missing an action. That's like, there's so many places we can go.
Why don't you go into a little further into that? Because what happened to his channel as of late?
The word that I've received, and I'm leaving people anonymous, just based off of stuff that gets to me. I don't want to disclose their names, that kind of shit. But I guess YR perma-deleted his main channel, and then same with the new 3X wrestling channel that was going on. And I guess YR is done. He's not. It's just not for him anymore. He's peacing out. I don't know how much I buy it, because this is. Not only is this not the first time something like this has happened, this is not the first time in fucking August that this has happened. So,
exactly.
It's going to be, I don't know, I give it another
As of this
week or
morning,
two.
his wrestling channel was still up, but I guess he took that down too?
Yeah, last I checked, it was down. I'm going to look again just so we can confirm and be safe, because I don't want to be
I know
putting
that
out
his main
false
channel, both Good Times Entertainment and the YR program both don't exist, but he could have just made the channels private, and because he's done that before, and then makes them public, like, hey Ken, I'm back, Ken, come on Ken, love me Ken.
Do you remember me, Ken? Fucking yeah, it's crazy, man. The amount of shit that has gone, even just the past like 48 hours has been crazy. You got the Sean's View shit, you got
Cmo. Let's talk about Cmo.
Well, I don't even know the full extent aside from what you've covered, what's been going on with Cman. He's not my cup. Him and Scott, like, I'll pay attention if you're covering it, but I could give a fuck about either of those sluts.
The other day he made a video where he was like saying that he was done with Scott, and then he made a new video which was obviously directed to me about what I said, like he was just going to go back working with him, and he took a sort of clip from the movie Scarface, where it's like, what was the exact line? I'm forgetting. Like, no second chances, or like there's no second time, or come on, help me out here. I'm kind of stoned.
Well, I heard something about war thrown in there, and I was actually thinking that was this actually a response more to Dave than Scott, because you had declared round 2 of the drama war.
No, to me, it just sounds like Cmo was just responding to what I had said, because on my show I had said, okay, so now you had a disagreement with Scott, and you're saying that, oh, you're not going to deal with him anymore, but I kind of doubt that, because you've done that in the past. And then in response to that, he makes this video where it's like, there's no second chance. Like, if you give me a second and you can talk, I'll try to find the exact fucking video name so I can quote it properly. But
well, that's with like, it's the same. It seems like the same scenario, like with YR saying he's done. It's applicable to how Cmo interacts with Scott. You know, he talks his big game about I'm done, not going back, but then returns anyways. And it's like, you can't build a reputation off of what you say you're going to do. Your reputation exists based solely off of what you've done and what you've said. So it's hard for me to believe that those two aren't going to reunite at some point.
Exactly. No, I totally see that, because the same thing has happened in the past, and even Cmo has said, "Oh, I'm done with Scott," and then he goes right back to him and stuff. But the bigger reason that I highlighted is just to point it out, so that people can say, okay, well, when the flip flop occurs, at least we're going to be there to say, "Caught ya." But hey, if he's actually able to, because like I talked about this, this was actually the first video he made was this Eminem video with him pointing his middle fingers, the graphic, and it's again a song that I'm not familiar with, because I'm not familiar with hip hop. But the title was Alien Head, Coffin, and Hammer. So obviously indicating that he's sort of like hammering the final nail in the coffin. And the next one was called "There's Gonna Be No Next Time." So that's the thing, though. That's what I said. I specifically said that explicitly, even in my stream, that said, "Oh no, there's gonna be a next time, absolutely." And Cmo obviously listens, although he says he doesn't. And,
well, he was sending you. I apologize for cutting you off, but wasn't he sending you shit during that stream?
That is correct. He on that final stream, he basically was sending me just sort of conversations he was having with Scott, and it was that whole situation where his ex's daughter died in a car accident, and Scott really just showed what a kind of scumbag he was, with no compassion.
Right.
Be like, it's just a fucking 15-year-old girl, who gives a shit? Like, wow. But no, that's the video he made. There's not going to be no next time. So it's in reference to what I said. And hey, if the guy means it, well, even better.
Well, only time's going to tell with that. How long do you give it before those two are reunited? And keep in mind that I got word that Scott's reportedly off to rehab. And
yeah, I was going to show those images.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't even know how long to give it, because I don't know these guys well enough to predict what their time frame would be.
Here's the thing, though. Either way, Scott's been relegated to the point of a ghost. He is just incapacitated, can't do shit. So, regardless of how much he rattles his chains like Jacob Marley from fucking Christmas Story, or Christmas Carol, he's not going to accomplish shit. And yeah, Cman has in the past sort of done this sort of thing and then reunited with him. But Cman is even more... Sorry, man. Cmo. Sorry. But that's the thing, though. Cmo is so irrelevant that we actually literally forget his name while we're trying to talk about him. He's that irrelevant. So it's just like, it doesn't really matter. He'll make these 2-minute videos. He'll put the side thing, on the... And nobody cares, Scott, again, unless Scott can... Here's how Scott feels his power. Unless he can actually air live and stream, he feels powerless. And all he's relegated to do is fucking comment on videos and seethe.
And call Sean's view.
Yeah. But hey, isn't that great that that not only we shattered Drama Club 2021, but those that remain, Danny's gone, and the two that were there, Cmo and Scott, now they've splintered. So we've just shattered Drama Club 2021.
Yeah, at this point, I would say I don't know of any of them that are actually active right now. No, the whole Sean's View thing, man, like the amount, all of them, aside from Danny MT, ended up over there. Cmo, Scott, Windshield Club 2021. So it's amazing that it only took a couple days of reviewing the shit that's going on for it to be it's already over. You know what I mean? 4 days in, maybe, something like that.
Well, it was the same way with YR, where he declared a drama war, and within 3 days he abandoned his troops and just was nowhere to be found.
Yo. Oh, boy.
So I'm going to put these images right now onto the screen so that people can read them. And this was sent, I believe, last night. This was. Can you give it while I set this up? Can you give us some details as to where this came from and just sort of?
That came from. We have the Foul Mouths Network Discord server, and that got circulated through there. I guess Scott had reached out to Tiff and sent her all this fucking self-righteous religious bullshit that he's always on about, and that how we ruined his life. He has no part in ruining his own life, of course. He hopes that Tiff finds God and gets rid of Satan. And I'm assuming he was probably drunk, if I had to take a wild guess. But if you even look up at the top of the picture, his Skype status says "off to rehab for real, take care." And if I was in his scenario, I don't know if I'd be worried about putting a Skype status about rehab. I'd probably just be packing my shit and going and getting the help I need.
Exactly. You don't advertise these sorts of things for clout. You just do what's right for you. But
Yeah, I think it's just another scenario. I don't believe that he went anywhere. I think he's just trying to lay
dude,
back for a bit.
Do you remember the videos that I reviewed that he deleted where he was crying?
Yes.
And that's the same thing. I'm not all right. And yet he deletes them.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that because I'm only really just inside of 2021 starting to see what all Scott does and his past behaviors and that kind of stuff. So he's done that type of shit before where he will come on and cry and try to garner attention, and then when he comes back he says it was all fake and a work, and sounds like someone else we know. Fucking just trying to chalk it up to playing a character or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, and Scott's been leaving a lot of comments on different videos, and he's triggered as hell, not just from, say, Travis and his expose on his writing styles, but on Ken's videos, on my videos, and he's just fucking ripping pissed.
Mm.
And he's still using these fake accounts, but he's like, oh, everyone knows who I am. Not until you fucking are forced to admit it.
Right. Well, I've seen the stuff on Travis's videos, and he's trying to blame all the fake accounts on Travis, and then provides zero evidence or even a logical argument that could possibly paint the picture that Travis is the one doing it all. And Travis is the same videos that Scott is commenting this shit on. Travis is showing the evidence that it's mainly Scott doing this shit. There's some other players involved, but it's not like Scott is not the one fucking doing a lot of it.
Exactly. And I want to go through the this image here. But Scott basically is telling Tiff in this chat, you tell the chat, when my nephew is on, you don't wish me harm. And you and everyone else, you've all done nothing but harm my life. Your lies and your deceits, it will catch up to you. Repent to God, Tiff. I'm going away to get help. Anyone who remains in that community, you are more lost than I will ever be. I hope you find God and get rid of Satan, because I am. My life is shattered due to my own way on how to handle this shit. But those who pushed me to the brink, well, find God, Tiff. Goodbye.
Jesus Christ. Talk about zero personal accountability.
Yo, there's fucking 4-year-olds that are less melodramatic than this shit.
Was there even anybody who wished harm to him while his nephew was on? If I remember correctly.
Not while he was actually, in fact, it was the opposite. And when his nephew was on, everyone's like, dude, like, yeah, we have to deal with this shit, but, like, you're his family member. We can relate to you and feel to you. You need to get this guy some fucking help. We want this guy to... Like, that was the entire thing. When his cousin was on, his nephew, it wasn't, like, any attack at all. Everyone was like, dude, like... You know, we support this guy getting help, and, you know, he's caused these problems, and he eventually, you know, he saw it, obviously, and when I don't know if you heard, but him and Real Talk got to talking afterwards behind the scenes.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. So I talked about it on my stream. So basically, Real Talk contacted me and Ken to get him in contact with Nathan. So I was able to get him into a chat with both Ken and Nathan. And Real Talk said his piece, and Nathan said his piece, and then they were cool, and then they started to share, like, musical interests, and, you know, who knows, maybe they'll even collaborate. But, yeah, the thing is, though, that's, you know, YR claims to be a bridge builder. No. He builds faulty bridges. I assisted with that. And another situation where Scott was hoping to, you know, take control of to make himself look like a victim, and again, for some fucking reason, get his family involved, and families in general. Is it that fucking boomeranged right on him, and it fucking, just like with his sister, just fucking blew up in his face?
Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. That's fucking. His nephew came in and is just flat out saying, "Yeah, I know how Scott is. This is what he does." So that's all the confirmation we need to know that this isn't some fucking character, some fake bits that Scott puts on. His own family has come and confirmed a number of times now that these same behaviors exist in his own personal life as well. So, and you guys were phenomenal with his nephew when he called in. There was no, I didn't see anything in the chat going at Scott. I think the worst thing that was said was just about how much his nephew sounds like him. Other than that, there wasn't really anything that was, I believe, harmful thrown towards Scott's way. I could be wrong, but
No,
that's just
because that's when it got real. Everyone was like, "No, we've all tried to help him for years. Like, here's all the evidence. This is like all the stuff that we've experienced, for trying to do so." He understood exactly where we were coming from. There was no maliciousness in that entire discussion, and I think it was very clear from the get-go that although Scott did try to manipulate Nathan into thinking that we were basically just a convent of ghouls, that that everyone there was not only just respectful for him to be there, but to share their opinions without fucking getting into a fight. So I think he got it.
Yeah. No, and I've seen that no matter what happens with Scott, and no matter what's thrown his way from people, the rhetoric, the talk, whatever, I think everybody's on the same page of no matter how much we dislike this guy, we would want to see him get help and get his fucking life together.
Yeah, we're not outwardly wishing him harm, and that's in contradiction to what he claims about all of us. That we're constantly trying to ruin his life, just like he said in that fucking message there, that comment in Skype, and yeah, he wants to be a victim.
Yeah. Well, that's and you see it in how everything's everybody else's fault. There's not a single ounce of ownership. Like if he even just said it's my own fault for getting on the fucking internet and participating, that would have been tremendous progress for him. But I'm not seeing anything like that.
There have been so many times where he's basically said, "Oh, well, what do you want me to do? Just go away and not fucking comment?" And I was like, "Yeah," and everyone else is like, "Yeah," and he couldn't fucking deal with that. He couldn't, just walk away, ignore it. He had to pull himself back in.
Yeah. No, there's part of me that feels bad for the dude. Just he's got a hefty mental illness and the addiction piece going on. So, but I also, most of me doesn't feel bad because the amount of fucking damage he has caused, it's hard to feel bad for someone that does scumbag shit. It's like if someone says something horrible about Tony, I'm not gonna feel bad. You're a fucking scumbag, and a lot of the time you bring the response on yourself with your own actions.
He gets exactly what he deserves. In fact, he said this on a video. I can't remember if it was my video or somebody else's, but he responded to Travis where it was along the lines of, "I hope you all get the karma that you deserve because your families are going to find out soon enough and stuff." I have no sympathy for this guy.
Right.
I want him to get help, but the thing is, though, I'm not going to mourn if he cries. And in fact, I will not bear any shame for laughing at it or laughing at the degeneration that he's currently experiencing. He chose that. He chose it. He chose it, and I'm not going to feel guilty for how he's now having to deal with it. I'll ridicule him for it because he chose it. He's the one who attacked me. He's the one who attacked everyone. He started it first. He can dilute it all he wants. But the thing is, though, this isn't his little privileged household where his mommy and daddy would always tell him that he's right. This is the real world where if you get spanked hard enough, you're going to feel it. And you can't just keep running back saying, "Well, that's unfair." It's like, no, you keep coming back and I'm going to fucking spank you harder and harder. Like, this guy doesn't get it, so he's got to be pushed into realizing it.
Yeah. No, 100%. I got no retort to that. 100%, Dave.
And what really should be taken into consideration is Scott has never been open about where he was or his location or anything. But okay, so he fucked with YR at one point. So YR, because YR is a snake, figured out that he was in Fort McMurray. So then at that point, Scott starts to admit he's in Fort McMurray. And then eventually he starts asking for, pizzas and shit like that. and people start buying him pizzas. But then he starts to turn on these people, and
Right.
they end up coming to me and like, I need some help, and they end up giving me his information, and that's how I found out his first place. And as soon as I presented that to him, he changed his tune real quick. He became the victim. He was like, "Oh my God, like how dare you even dox me?" It's like, I didn't dox you. I just told these people, well, this guy threatened me, so this is where I know where he lives. So if you don't hear from me anytime in the future, know that maybe this guy did something. So that to him was the first start of the doxing, and how I showed him that I wasn't going to fucking, acquiesce to his fucking bullshit. So he understood at that point that he was dealing with someone that wasn't just going to lie back and take his crap.
Right. Well, and we need that fail-safe and having the collateral of having his information. That way, if he decides to say he stops fucking with you or any of his main targets and starts on someone new, we have that in the back to throw out to that person who's getting harmed by Scott. That way,
well, that was the reason I made the evidence marathon. I don't know if you ever watched that 5.5 hour fucking stream I did. But it's close to 4 years of evidence and sound clips and images based on Scott McKinnon, on all the threats and all the bullshit that he's done. So that I did as to provide people who've had to deal with him with the evidence necessary. They can just point it to law enforcement and say, you have 3.5 years of fucking evidence right here to establish character and to fucking show intent.
Right. No, I think it's good that you got that collected up. That way people have it if need be. Because it's going to happen again. If he comes back, it's going to happen again every time. All it takes is one drunken rage and you not doing what he wants you to do, and there you go. The cycle fucking starts again.
I made it a point with my reviews to make sure to have that all documented and stuff. So, these recent threats and stuff are even more advantageous to prove this point.
Right. So who comes back first, Scott or YR?
YR, maybe?
That's where I'm going with it, man. I think YR is going to be back within a week or two, to be honest with you.
Probably badger fucking Sean's View to get him to do another show.
Well, in the realm of that discussion, since Sean's View didn't stream last night, there's no Tony on with him, and he didn't show up Friday night. Whose dick do you think Tony is going to hop on next? Because if YR's done and Sean's View is not going to be doing streams, where does Tony go from here? Is he going to try making peace with Cronin?
He goes where YR tells him, which is to Kenny Bolin.
Is he over with Kenny Bolin?
Well, he's gotten his information. Because here's the thing. At some points, he's been on, somehow with Cronin, he got on calls with Kenny Bolin and with... what's his name? Nick Russo. So he got their information, and there's been a couple of times where he's sort of randomly just decided to add them to a call, and has really caught them off guard and stuff. And again, typical YR bullshit. But I would suspect he might go there because Kenny Bolin, for example, doesn't like Joe Cronin. He also associates with Cornette, who doesn't like Joe Cronin. And I can just sort of see that. Again, he keeps going lower. And what's lower than fucking Cornette? I mean, he's going low, dude. So, he keeps falling down the fucking barrel. And, that's where I would say he would go next. If not that, he may try to go to, what's his name? Conan's podcast and stuff, because he's been on there before. He's tried to sort of flatter him and all that.
Did Kenny Bolin used to work with Joe, right?
They did a couple of shows until things happened.
Is it the usual thing that happens with Joe and people he works with?
Yes, but it also includes Kenny Bolin, who's a fucking ultra hardcore socialist and, just a scummy type of carny type of guy. If you want the definition of carny, it's fucking Kenny Bolin.
Okay, so this dude's a big fucking scumbag as well.
Oh yeah, but then again, birds of a feather.
Flock together. Yeah, that's how it goes. No, I've heard the name Kenny Bowling. Yeah, Bolin only in passing, so I don't know the full extent of what all happened
His
there.
claim
But
to
that's
fame
actually
was that he got John Cena into OVW, Ohio. Was it Ohio Valley Wrestling? That's what it was. Yeah. So OVW. That's how he got. That became the thing prior to NXT Florida, whatever it was, Florida Championship Wrestling, FCW, and then.
okay.
Yeah, then it became NXT and whatever. That's his big claim to fame. He found fucking Cena. He always fucking mentions it.
I was getting ready to say that sounds like an event that happened fucking over 20 years ago, and that's what he's still riding off of and has done really nothing since.
Dude, the guy told us of how he grifts fucking restaurants and shit for fucking free food. I was on an interview with him with Cronin, and he was talking about that. Grifting fucking restaurants for food, getting free hotels. Like, the guy is a literal walking carny.
Okay.
And his son's like ultra socialist.
Okay. Yeah, that actually would be. That's a pretty good guess on where Tony would go, because that's the type of guy that he would be attracted to, that he could fucking suck off to get onto the show.
I don't know. I mean, I could see Cornette fucking calling out his faggotry right there on the show.
Yo, especially if Tony brings up Joe Cronin, because Cornette's going to go straight into fucking rant mode with that.
Yeah, Tony, but the piano thing, if he tries the piano thing, it's over. It's fucking over.
Yeah.
Like, what are you, some sort of queer? Like, what is this?
Oh, shit. Man, I cannot stand. I've gotten to the point now, like the last stream I did, as soon as I heard a piano key, I started fucking skipping. Like, I actually get enraged because I've heard so much of this shit at this point. He had to drag his fucking entertainment corpse all the way to Sean's View just to get a compliment about it. We're fucking sick of it.
Hey, bro, this is the place to be, bro. This is all about wrestling here, not like those other channels. This is the place to be, yeah.
He barely knew who Sting was. That's what. How do you dare fucking go on a wrestling program and not know who the fuck Sting is?
Oh, there's so much wrong with it. Like, he was trying to do, whose song was it? Somebody's fucking song.
Chris Jericho's Judas, I think is what it was.
Just dude, you're the one who's so skilled. How difficult is it for you to just learn this shit before you get on air?
How difficult is it to pull up a fucking lyrics sheet and just not go,
Yeah, he probably just reads tab, but that's fine. Just fucking find the tab and just fucking learn it.
Yeah.
Come
my
on.
God. I tried going back because I had messaged you earlier, and that's how we got together for this. I had the itch to stream, and I wanted to cover something, so I was watching through some of the other Sean's View show, and it is fucking unbearable because you have Bullfrog as the poster child doing his fucking shtick. Bullfrog voted for Biden, by the way. Just want to remind everybody. And then you have that Prince Idol dude coming in, and he sounds like he's taking more shots at Cronin than anybody else is. Like, I don't know, people trying to tell me that wasn't a planned hit piece or anything like that. No, if that Prince Idol dude is that hell bent on bringing up Cronin and saying he's coming for him, then that kind of tells me all I need to know.
Yeah, no, he was definitely showing signs of being complicit, and in fact, it's an entire conspiracy. I've laid it out. It's quite clear. YR wanted to stir some things up. Sean's View had nothing left to lose because what the fuck else is he doing? And knowing, the conflict and stuff, he thought he might be able to make use of it. And having a freak show like Bullfrog, a carny like fucking Sean's View, of course is going to want to have like the world's fattest man there, along with the world's skinniest freak like YR and fucking, the world's faggotiest fag with fucking Tony. So of course he's going to want to be the ringleader of his little sideshow.
What a shit show that was, man.
But it's pathetic.
Where do you?
What?
I was gonna ask, like, where do you stand with Bullfrog at this current point? I know you had reviewed his shit the other day. Has he sent you more messages trying to make peace?
Now that you mention that, let's scroll down here.
Oh,
okay.
Boy.
I may have mentioned some of this on my show. I don't believe so. I think I was off air by this point. But let's go through this. It will be fun. So, there was a lot. You got to scroll up here.
As always. I saw you put up the Biden flag picture.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, that's awesome.
Okay, so oh god. Okay, so he sent those 4 messages. I played those on air, where he was like, I told Scott, I'm gonna tell your daddy, blah blah blah. Okay, so this came afterwards. And I don't believe I mentioned this on my show, but okay. So I respond to him saying, "You are this is all capitals. You are a fucking fat tard of a liar. None of that was said on the stream. You're done."
Yeah, you played the fucking clip, and there was not a single mention of you or Bullfrog telling Scott he was gonna call his daddy or
exactly.
Like
That's why I played those clips first, so that when we heard the actual thing, it could be heard. But he goes, "How am I done?" Crying emoji face, questioning emoji face. "I'm not doing anything wrong." And Scott was on Sean's View's show last night. He was all liquored up. He was drinking their bottle like a baby bottle. Bro, I'm trying my best to a friend. I'm actually reading this exactly how he writes it, okay? So if you don't understand it, it's his fault, not mine. I'm not misreading it. Bro, I'm trying my best to a friend to butt. Seems like all you want to do is call me names and call me fat. I'm trying to be a good person. Sad face. I'm trying my best to be a friend to you. And again, most of my responses are in caps. You are a fucking liar. Everything you did, you said you did, was a lie. He's like, how am I a liar? I'm like, all those voicemails. Nothing like that happened when Scott called in. You didn't say shit about him cooling off or you'd contacting me. Plus, I'm not your friend. He says, yes, it did. I'm like, timestamp it or it didn't happen. Because I reviewed most of the shit show and there was nothing in capital letters. He's like, Scott was all liquored up. I'm like, that is not the point, you stupid fuck. You said you told him to pipe down or you would call me to take care of it. That is a lie. You said, I did the right thing. You didn't do shit. Then he called me apparently at that point and I declined. I'm like, nope. That was my response. Nope. He's like, I'm telling the truth! Triple exclamation mark. And now I'm back to all caps. You're lying. Send me the timestamp or you are a liar. He's like, to where Scott was on the call. I'm like, no. To where you told him where you said, or what you said in those voicemails. Are you really this retarded? He's like, I never told Scott I sent you voicemails. This guy's not even fucking. It's not about listening. Okay, at this point, it's not about listening. He's not reading what I'm fucking writing to him in caps. Okay, because not just caps is for yelling, but it's for fucking blind stupid people. And he says, I never told Scott I sent you voicemails. I told Scott to get off the call before I call Dave Rose. But we witnessed that. We never heard that.
Not only is that a lie, but that first part's a fucking non sequitur. He's just like, I never told Scott I sent you voicemails. That's completely fucking irrelevant.
I really hate it when people impose onto me as in a debate like this, or what should be a logical, even debate, is expect on me to keep them on track of their own fucking thought process. It's like, no. You're the one who's trying to fight with me. Like, please keep your mind focused here. Like, why do I have to fucking keep track of both of our arguments? So,
yeah.
What?
I was going to say, that seems... I have that issue when I try to talk to Bullfrog. Well, he's fucking weird because it's happened twice now, and one time was on your show. I call in to actually defend him, and then he fucking shits all over me. And then the times where I'm trolling him and calling him Biden Frog, he doesn't care nearly as much as he does when I'm defending him. It's amazing. But like I've noticed when I've talked to Bullfrog, he has no idea. He'll say something then forget it 30 seconds later. Same thing happens with fucking Tony. Same thing seems to happen with Joe. Like that one time I talked with him, he tried to divert to something else, this, that, and the other. Like, why is this such a fucking common thing for discussions in the community? Just this nonsensical, I have to deflect, defer, not answer anything, and forget what I say on a regular basis.
Why? Because because a lot of people are either too weak or they just don't give a fuck enough to actually hold people accountable to what they should be held accountable. Bullfrog needs to be held accountable. I know it's a fucking hard job to hold down a retard while he flails, but, it's possible. You apply a proper move, and even, Down syndrome kid with, like, the strength of 10 men can still be subdued. And you can do the same with Bullfrog, but it has to be done. The problem is some people just don't want to do it, or they can't. And, a line has to be drawn. This guy can't be allowed to continually just run roughshod on the community and fucking sexually harass everyone.
Yeah. No, see, if we would have been having this discussion a month ago, I would have still been on the it's just Bullfrog type train. But
what changed your opinion there?
Really, I called into YRs to defend him. It was a week or two ago. He flipped on me, and from there I was like, "You're a fucking
was that
piece
the third
of
time,
shit, bro."
Was that the third time?
No, that was the second time that's happened.
Are you sure, man? Because the first time, like, I brought you on the call, and you're like, "Bullfrog, chill out." Like, I agree with you. He's like, "Fuck you." It's like, but I called in to defend you. Fuck you. Yeah. But I remember a second time.
Well, no, he went after that happened. He labeled me a troll. So anytime my name came up, I remember I covered it in my my one stream, Windshield Club 2021, when they were saying shit about your dad. It was in the same stream. My name came up, and Bullfrog was telling Tony, "Oh, just ignore. He's a troll. He used to be a massive Bullfrog supporter, but now he just trolls me." So you're actually kind of right in a way. There has been multiple occasions where this dude has went from like we would talk behind the scenes and be friendly back and forth to he's shitting on me in a stream that same fucking day.
See, I never even knew you were talking to him behind the scenes, but the way that he reacted to you when you did try to call in and defend, and even like early on when you did call in and defend, you weren't like as cool as with me as you are now, and yet you were still trying to call in to defend the guy, and like you were left flabbergasted. I'm like, Bullfrog, I'm calling in to defend you against the guy I disagree with. Like, can you give me a second to fucking help you out? Fuck you! Fuck you!
Yeah, my favorite part of that was he thought he had this ace in the hole against me because before I was getting ready to leave the call, and he's like, "Dave, I want to share a little secret with our buddy Cman. He was over on Joe Cronin's talking shit about you," and you literally were reviewing that exact stream like for 3 hours straight prior to the call. He thought he had this big fucking ace in the hole, and you had already It's amazing, man. But what really, really solidified for me that I am no longer allowing whatever fucking mental disorder this dude's got to be an excuse was the shit that he was a part of with Sean's View. Even if he was a useful fucking idiot, he went over there, said all this horrible shit about Joe, saying that him and Tony are going on strike when it comes to Cronin. You just all the scumbag shit. And then if we look at where he's at Friday night, he wasn't over on Sean's View after CM Punk debuted. No, he was on Monetize This, stirring up the shit pot there, causing problems with fucking Nikki J.
And even bringing up Sean's View's name.
Yeah, well, that's another thing I wanted to dive into because this whole Sean's View thing is barrel rolled into a bunch of other things, but like Bullfrog being on with Joe, that was it for me when it came to supporting Cronin. Like, I'll still watch, but I'm done fucking defending this guy. I'm done. Whatever. I don't even care if people decide to do 24-hour streams on him about him and his family and all this. I don't fucking care anymore because, like, I went into the Discord and all I said to Bullfrog, I think I have the screenshot somewhere. I'm going to send it to you. But all I said to Bullfrog was, fuck you, you scumbag. And Cronin hops in and says, you keep it up, you're both gone, you fakes. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I did the first ever Cronin defense review stream. I don't know of anybody else that has ever gone on and defended Cronin for over 3 hours. And shit, where was I going with that? He constantly bitches about how nobody defends him or goes to bat for him when stuff's going on.
That's so false.
And literally all of us were on the same page. I saw maybe 2 people in the chat that were saying, fuck it, Cronin deserves it. But fucking Ken called in at the end, said he backs Joe 100%. I heard that you were backing Joe 100% as well. Like there was no horrible shit being said about Joe in any of this. We all were on the same page.
Yeah,
this
day
was
after Joe basically alludes to all of us being scumbags though, and being fixed.
Yeah, and then there we are, and I don't. This is where I'm like, I'm starting to understand why people, because I was half and half with it, where I still like Joe, but I saw his faults. But I'm starting to understand why people get to the point where they're just fucking done with it all.
He just doesn't want to grow up. That's the problem. He's just acting like a fucking 13-year-old. Like he's holding on to these grudges, and he needs to fucking grow up. It's like, yeah, you might have a disagreement, but like, you know, the neighbors still agree that one neighbor that's fucking speeding his car at 2 a.m. and making all that noise needs to fucking go. So I don't think he gets it. He's stuck in his fucking ways, and he's very, I guess, egotistical when it comes to admitting either fault or working with those that he has created some sort of resentment. Because again, the resentment that he faces, whether it be with me, with Ken, with JB, it's his problem. You don't see JB you don't see JB at all, but you didn't see him afterwards making videos just whining and bitching about, fucking Joe won't work with me, blah blah blah, or can't work with Joe. You don't see the same thing with Ken. You don't see the same thing with me. Tommy C, Dead on Dave. Like that's the thing though. But he's the one who keeps on top of that. He's the one that just can't let go, and it's evident.
Well, and you see it. Yeah, you see it because like the recent happenings with when I called into him and had that discussion, I called out the pot shots that he takes at all his fucking co-hosts and the digs and throwing the jab, Rock.
Slip the jab, Rock. Slip the jab.
Yeah, and he is doing it to fucking Drew, of all people,
yes,
the guy that backed
Drew.
him the most and got labeled as the biggest Cronin dick sucker of all time. Now Drew, just because he decided to step away a little bit, even though he's still in the chats, he'll still call into Joe and talk to him. Now Drew's the new backstabber, all because he doesn't hate who Cronin hates.
Cman, I got to jump in, because unfortunately, it's always about guilt by association. And because my dumbass thought that Ken was listening to fucking Drew's stream, and I thought there was still some time for us to connect prior to Friday Night Fire. I thought, hey, Ken's calling in to talk with Drew and me. Like, yeah, let's add him in. And, apparently that alone, having Drew take Ken's call, well, it was me who took his call, and, Drew not disconnecting him immediately, allowing him be on there, and, just talking like normal adults, that pissed off the Cronin.
That's what I picked up on too, because I went and I watched that stream, and I'm like,
the Sparrows told me. So I've got factual information that proves this. So it's not just what he displayed himself as, because he's very what's the best word? He doesn't care really when it comes to displaying his physical displeasure. His displeasure physically in facial forms and stuff. You can see when he's pissed, and when when he walks away for 40 minutes or something. I was told he walked away last night or something for 40, 50 minutes from his own show. I mean, it goes to show that, this guy is controlled by his emotions and not by his logic.
I can't disagree, because it's like this is the same thing that Scott does with people. Is like, if you're not backing who he wants you to back, and if you're not enemies with who he wants you to be enemies with, then you're the fake. You're the wrong. It's like You know what's fake is the people that just constantly fucking dick ride Cronin. That's what's fake. Is never offering him criticism, critique, or even as a friend coming to him being like, "Yo, I that's fucked up. What are you doing?" Like that. That's where you find your real fucking people that are going to back you and want to see what's best for you. Not these dick riders who will suck them off, and then you want an example of a fake guy with Cronin? Fucking Tony from Revere. That's a fake dick riding faggot. I challenge Joe. I want him to go and find clips of Drew doing what Tony does, and then he can say. But what I heard when you called into Drew's was you guys were fucking defending him and talking a little bit about what happened with the Sean's View shit, if I'm not mistaken. And it was all backing Joe. But he took that, and I heard the stream on Monetize This. What he was running that narrative with is that now you do shows for 10 hours with people that Drew does shows for 10 hours with people that, you know the usual rhetoric. You know the usual rhetoric with this shit. It's just disappointing, and I don't understand how Joe doesn't see the pattern himself, because this isn't a new thing. This has been you brought up Tommy C and Dead on Dave, and I think the same thing has happened with fucking Tosevich. I don't even know if does he even show up on YouTube anymore.
No, he's gone. He's a fucking vagrant, or he's been buried in some sort of fucking shallow grave in Arizona, but he's disappeared.
Yeah, I don't see how
Troy is still around, but he rarely makes an appearance.
Yeah. No, this is established behavior. That's why people predicted it coming, and we've seen the writing on the wall the past. Really, since Tony came back was when I noticed it started with the weird random shots at Drew, and just that tension slowly building. And that fucking pisses me off, man, because Drew has backed him so much, but has also been fair where if he sees something, he points it out. Not in a dick way, not in a review stream drama style way, like as a genuine friend. And just to see this shit happening to Drew is fucking disappointing. It really is. Fuck what happened in the Discord the other day. That's what the fuck ever. I'm just some random. Well, I sent you the screenshot of him calling me a fucking fake, despite me defending him for over 3 hours. He told me he lumped me in with Bullfrog on my level of fakeness and said he was going to throw us out of the Discord.
Okay, so yeah, no, I've got that. I believe that's the image I've got on my screen right now, the one that I've got on the stream.
Let me double check because I have it. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
You see, like I went in and I saw. I like Nicky J, so if I see someone giving him shit for no fucking reason, I'm gonna call it out. But I saw Bullfrog saying about fucking Nicky J and blaming all this shit on him, and I'm like, yo, Bullfrog, you're an absolute piece of shit human, dude. You have some nerve, man. Yep. Fuck you, because here he is on that stream after saying all that shit he did with Sean's View. And Joe's response was, "You keep it up, you're both gone, fakes." And I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Like I don't even know how to go into it, but it was just fucking disappointing. And then I watched the rest of Monetize This and heard all the pop shots thrown at Drew, and I'm like, all right,
actually,
whatever.
To be honest, Cman, there's been times in the past where people have been on the outs with Joe. Something like this has occurred where they've come to his defense, and Joe has sort of scoffed it off and said, fuck you, you said I was fake or this and that or blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, we can have our disagreements, but I see an injustice here, and I'm willing to fucking put my name in this to fucking, help you out. I think even Tommy C, I think that's happened with Tommy C. Even when Joe was on the outs with Tommy C, there was some sort of issue. I think it could have been with that Adrian guy, that Latino from fucking L.A., but he's the one who said he was going to rape JB's son in the butthole. And
Jesus.
I think Tommy C was like, this is unnecessary, and you shouldn't be doing this, blah blah blah. And then Joe, is like, well, why are you saying this, blah blah blah. Sort of like just dismissing the help. And I don't know if it was that, but I do remember that there was a situation where after they were on the outs, him and Tommy C had a situation like that, and it was Tommy C that actually came to sort of support him.
Yeah. Man, that's a fucking bummer. Because I do like Joe. I mean, I'm not going to ever support him again or back him or anything like that. And despite my
Oh,
criticisms, I
he's too
do like
sour
him and
for
I
me.
find him entertaining.
The problem is he still thinks that everyone's out for him and he wants to be a victim, and I want to like him, but the thing is though, I'm not gonna fucking like a guy that wants to constantly be a victim and claim these things like, oh, Dave Rose, well, he doesn't that's the thing though. I'm sorry, Joe, I would have more respect for you if you actually named names, but like, oh, 8 hour streams, we all know who's the fucking emperor here. We all know who's the one who's been leading the charge for the last while, who shows that he's just fucking willing to go all the way. And that's the problem with some people. Like Joe would say, oh shit, I don't have time to catch up with 8 hours. I know somebody's talking about me and all this stuff. How dare they? Fuck them. I'm sour. They suck. It's just
Yeah.
like, but that's the thing though. There's certain things that these people need to understand when they get into these uh, sort of positions. And it's not, I'm not trying to be malicious here, and I'm certainly not trying to affect his income. And in fact, with what recently happened, what you exposed, it was something that I took great issue with, is because like that's a line that I don't cross, and in fact, I take issue with that when somebody else crosses it.
Yes. Yeah, and you've been consistent with that viewpoint on it. That's all I've heard from you since this stuff came out, was that this is a line that should not be crossed, and I'm going to stand by Joe on this one. This is fucked up, and that's where everybody was. That's what I believe Ken's stance was. It's definitely what my stance was, because at that point in time I was defending Cronin. I was like, yeah, this is fucked up. I need to expose this shit, and it's just a bummer, man. I really have enjoyed a lot of the content Joe's provided. I'm still gonna watch. I ain't even gonna be one of these people that, this shit happens and then I go and say all this horrible shit. I will criticize him, but I'm done backing him. You know what I mean? If this is how he wants to run shit,
It's unfortunate.
fair enough.
It's unfortunate,
Yeah,
but that's the thing though. He is a squabbling child. He will sit his ass down in the fucking sandbox and say, no, I'm not moving. You're going to have to build your sandcastle around me. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, kid. Like, okay, I'm not going to fight you. I'm not going to throw you out of the fucking sandbox. Like, I just want to fucking play. And if I can't play with you, I'll play by myself, But he doesn't like that.
Well, it's such a fucking shame, because this whole scenario with everybody coming out to back him, this was like, if there was ever an opportunity for shit to start getting better and like amends to be made, this was probably
Yes.
it. I had someone hit me up and say that, and I think this was it.
Yeah, I saw the same.
This
I
was
thought
it.
this was a good. That's why I thought that, even like, and I said it on my stream, it was like, Sean, you've got some things to answer to, and I think that Joe needs to respond to this too, because yes, this of anything, this is an opportunity to get things resolved.
Yeah, such a fucking bummer, man. It really is. It really is. And he can go with the stance that we're all fucking fakes and flip flop and this, that, and the other, whatever. I'd understand that a little bit if, say, like the YR guys went to someone else in the community and he's like, oh, well, you guys are always whatever. If he went that route, maybe I could get behind a little bit, at least understand the viewpoint. But these fucking dudes took it to a completely different community, a direct competitor to Joe, organized a fucking hit piece and a frame job on Steve Cman, and like, we're going to come out and back Joe in this scenario. And it's like, that's still not enough, because I guess if people associate with Dave Rose or Foulmouth Ken, then you're automatically a piece of shit. And it's,
Well, then how
I don't
about I
understand.
do this? How about I put together my theory and the evidence I have to back it up together in a case file and present it to whoever wishes to take it. So, therefore, it is no longer tainted with the bias of Devious Dave Rose. So you can take that information, analyze it for yourself, determine whether or not it's real, and at that point, do an actual prosecution on the situation.
I mean, if you want to even send it to me, I'll take a look through it and see what my thoughts are. And if it's something that I think should be run, I'll run it and go through it on a stream.
YR is very transparent. Fucking Sean's view is obviously low tier IQ. And as I explained to you, and you were seeing this, like you were walking through this with me as you were doing your stream. I was saying things in your chat, And you're like, that's exactly what it is. So I don't want to, like, bore everyone with the entire fucking timeline. But we know, like, we can put things together. You and I have both recognized that there is no such thing as coincidence, and certain things have come together so timely that you can't dismiss them. So as such, with that alone, we can build a timeline. Now, we've got prior information and information that has come, as of late. We have the ability to create a timeline that, allows us, and I already got this in my mind, but if you want this in paper, on graphic form, I'm willing to do it. But I can tell you exactly what's going to fucking happen. Just like fucking when I said, this is what's going to happen when it came to YR after fucking the drama wars and stuff. It just fucking came all together. So if you guys want like a nice graphic, me and Cman can fucking, work on this stuff and show you exactly where this shit is going. Because never forget, YR goes right back into his cycles. So we're going to see some sort of return. But every time he tries to return, it's like these fucking bioweapon COVID shits. It's their mutations are weaker every time. So the next
and every
variant.
time he's also. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but every time he comes back, due to the type of whatever scummy shit he did prior that caused him to leave, he loses more people that would back him. I'm not fucking backing I'm not backing YR ever again.
Well, that's
I refuse to, and I still there's parts of him that I like and there's stuff I find funny, but morally based off of what I observed and the timeline I put together that I analyze, I can't stand by it. It's just too fucking scummy for me to be a part of. And I know there's other people in the community that are on that same exact point with YR, where essentially YR moved himself into Scott territory for a lot of people with some of the stuff that's been going on.
Well, that's why I equate it to the mutating viruses. Every mutation gets weaker and weaker. So just like I said with Scott, that, they might leave and then come back, but every time they come back, they've got less and less supporters, less and less viewers, more and more people that are aware of what they've been doing, because while they've been gone, they've been broken down and analyzed and exposed. So that's the thing, though. Every time the virus tries to come back, it gets weaker and weaker. So fewer and fewer people actually give it credence to its value. So this is the greatest revenge, because like they say, it's better to burn out to fade away, right? Well, then what's bad? Yeah. Fading away. Well, guess what we're doing to fucking Scott and fucking Wire and the rest of them? Making them fade away.
That's actually a really good point, because they will keep coming back, and that stuff they do start to fade away. I mean, say in a hypothetical scenario, Wire's back tomorrow. Like, who's he going to have?
Exactly.
Tony and SC and
how soon until they're in a fight, Tony and fucking...
Bingo. And that's why I brought up that question earlier about whose dick is Tony going to suck next? Like, with that said, who's Tony going to flip on next? Is Tony going to start doing to Sean's view what he did to Joe? Is he going to... I know the YR flip is inevitably coming, and that might be when we finally see
wouldn't that be great to see them both fight on the same show, like YR and and Tony fight for Sean's view's attention on the show? Yo, we've seen that before, and I'm sure that we'll see it again.
Yeah, fucking. We've already actually technically seen a Tony flip. Remember when there was that time Tony and YR broke up for like a night, and right away Tony's calling into the Foul Mouths Network like,
yes, right after. It was right after. Yeah. It's like, I'm done with YR. I'm done with YR.
Yep.
You get the fuck out of here.
He was doing that next
morning.
Your
whore mouth.
Fucking Tony, man. This is how big. Like, I know I keep trying to like shit on Tony, but I love doing it.
It's necessary, okay?
Yeah, I have too much fun with it, but like, this dude is such a fucking scumbag and a douchebag and annoying and ruins shows with his fucking shtick and this, that, and the other. He's that bad that a caller, started doing fucking review streams on his shit. That's you have to.
And you got better numbers than him.
I was technically with the last one, and I'm not a numbers guy, man. What I appreciate has been
You are
just
now.
the response from the community. But like, I technically am more in direct competition with Sean's view than what Joe would be, just based off of viewer count.
No, your
So
viewership is actually more in par with fucking Falmouth Network or Joe than fucking Sean's view. Sean's view's fucking ratio is terrible. Absolutely, even YR beats that. But man, you fucking killed it. 88. I remember watching 88 fucking subs, and you had 30 to 40 viewers. I mean, that
really
ratio
I thought it
alone
maxed
kills
out
what
at
I got.
25. Yeah, shit. I didn't know it was that high. I was paying attention to. I was trying to watch the chat and just cover what I needed to cover. So I didn't know that it was ever
I
at
have
that
654 subs, and I can go, like, right now I got 56. Sometimes I go as low as 30. Sometimes 42. But no, the fact is 88 subs, and you had close to half of fucking viewers there. That says a lot.
No, thank you. I honestly, like, I'm gonna be fucking gay for a second, but like it's honestly been humbling just to see the response, because there's been people that have reached out to me that I never in a million years thought would hit me up after doing our stream. So it was it's been cool. It's been cool, and I'm trying to come up with a way to give back to the community that has provided me with so many hours of content. So
But Hulk
trying to figure out
Hogan
something.
hit you up?
No, yeah, Hulk Hogan hit me up.
Listen up, brother.
No.
I heard you the other day on that Devious Faggot stream, and thought you did great.
No, it's been cool, man. That's all I can say. I don't want to disclose names, but like, and even just the like building the mutual respect and relationship with you and with Ken, and being able to call in and shoot the shit and talk this stuff with you guys. Like, as someone who's a fan and watches all the stuff, and being able to participate, it's been fucking cool. It's been a cool experience. It sucks that right now it's kind of dry and there's no Tony doing stupid shit for me to cover. So I'm glad we're doing this now and able to just talk about everything that's going on and what we've been observing. So.
Yeah, well, Tony could always respond by, actually activating his own channel, but
yeah, right.
That just seems like too much.
He'll activate his shit to go comment on my video and try to prove his point, and then delete the comment 3 seconds after. So, yeah, good luck on that.
I thought he had 4 cameras. With 4 cameras in OBS, you could put on, especially in what's it called, the Light Bright room. You could put on quite the fucking show. In fact, if you were to put your fucking lights on a timer, you could probably do a whole light show and shit going on. Probably reduce the amount of energy you're expending. But regardless, is that might help you, do your own show and attract people. But Tony is a pussy. And, he's a bandwagon jumper. He'll only jump on to those that have the ability to help him out. Will he actually make the effort necessary to run his own show? No. I mean, even Bullfrog does that, and yeah, he does it poorly, but he does it. Even Tony won't do it.
Yeah, it's fucking pathetic. This guy can talk all this shit.
But I'm so much cooler than all of you guys, dude.
But he can't run a stream on his own channel because he knows that a lot of us are going to purposely not show up just to fuck with his numbers and make him all fucking little bitch.
He's like just a scared pussy who doesn't want comments on his video like, oh, you suck, Tony, this and that, you're the cool kid in high school but nothing in real life, and he would just take issue with that, and he wouldn't know how to fucking disable thumbs down or fucking comments, so he's just scared that he doesn't know what he's doing, so he'd just rather rely on somebody else to do it for him.
Well, I see in the chat real quick, Foulmouth Ken said, Sean is done with them, I thought, because Tony made it sound like they had a show they were doing Saturday nights. I saw screenshots of Tony basically plugging and promoting like crazy. I saw that shit too. The one stream I was going through to see if I wanted to review it, Tony's in there fucking plugging all this hype shit, and then last night, nobody goes live. There's nothing.
Yeah, but that was probably because Sean's View said, "Yeah, let's do a show on that night, and we'll do it well." And again, him, fucking the black guy,
Prince Idol.
YR. We got to think of a better name for him. YR, fucking Bullfrog, and Tony. They're in the background talking the shit out. They're the ones who are really working this. So what Tony said, and I've seen this in the past when he's been working with Sean's View, is that what he said was sort of in line with what Sean's View had sort of dictated or envisioned for what he wanted to do. So it's not. I don't believe that Tony was just randomly saying, "Oh, we're going to do the stream." It was because, okay, guys, what are we doing? Oh, you're doing that? Okay, I'll promote it. Okay, Tony, you do that in the chat. Okay, so he does that in the chat. So that's what I'm seeing here is occurring.
Yeah, I'm on board. Do you think they didn't show up because of YR piecing out, and that's why the whole thing just went shit can? Since YR was done and deleted his channels?
No, actually, the opposite. I believe that YR. Here's the thing, though. Okay, so I believe something was to go down. My suspicions, based on several things, was yes, there was supposed to be more CM Punk's return, and potentially last night with a show and stuff. You notice a difference if you look at the timeline of Sean's View's videos. You notice a difference from even 5 days ago, where there was this just massive amount of having these long videos with YR and the rest of these fucking rejects, and for the last few days, it's just been a couple of minute reviews, or it's been a 45-minute review solo. So what this is telling me is that there's been some sort of schism. Something has occurred, which has disrupted what we had already been told was going to occur. And by going through my logic, if we're going to walk this through, as I always suggest people do, with everyone's logic, including my own, is that we got the impression, because if we understand that they're talking in the background, what Tony said was based on what was instructed to him to do. And I believe it's Sean's View and YR who really are the ones who are sort of coordinating the most. And what was instructed to Tony was the orders from the boss. Now, they didn't come together, so I don't think he was just sort of saying these sorts of things. I think it was some sort of schism that caused Sean's View to say, "No, YR, I'm done with you. And we're done." And no, I don't think so. And
I'm done with you. I'm done with Drew. I'm done with the Jews.
Yeah, he's good with those rhyming words, but he'll never be a rapper. But yeah, I think there's something has gone on, because it doesn't. The consistency of the videos, if you look at their previous patterns, don't match for what we've seen for the last 10 uploads. Mm-hmm. And again, the silence. Also, was it this morning that YR deleted his channel?
He deleted the. I want to say he deleted the YR program yesterday, and then I believe today the 3X Wrestling got deleted as well.
Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so I think this is also the 3X Wrestling thing is in reference to what's been going on with Sean's View, especially since last night. Last night was SummerSlam. There was probably something. I'm guessing something was planned for Friday with CM Punk. They weren't allowed on. Then something may have potentially been planned for Saturday with SummerSlam, and then they weren't allowed on. And because of that, YR's like, okay, fuck it. I'm going to delete my wrestling channel too. I'll show you. And I think that's, so they're hiding again in their caves like Tora Bora, like the Taliban. Like fucking Al Qaeda and ISIS, and they're trying to they're basically trying to regroup now to see how do we come back again. Like how do we try to get the community to like us again? And you got SC fucking Illegal, you got Jacob RP, you got fucking YR, you got Tony, Yeah,
that made me think. Someone had sent me this. they were talking about the shit going on with the Taliban and how they just got done fucking slaughtering a bunch of people, and then they go on a news broadcast and say all they want is peace. Someone told me it's kind of what fucking Tony does. He goes around talking all this shit and then shows up on a live stream saying everything's cool. I'm just a cool guy. I don't want to be a part of the drama. So I'm thinking about making a Taliban Tony picture.
You also said that no, was it you or somebody else that said that they want to go all over to Keemstar's Keemstar. What the fuck am I talking about? They want to go to fucking Sean's Views channel and forget that they ever did anything bad. I think that might have been Ken who told me that the other day. But it's just like they want to forget how all the shit they started, then go to a new community and be like, yeah, we're totally innocent. We can we can cast the first stone.
Well, they fucking contradict themselves with that too, because they say they're going over there to just talk wrestling and then it's all not drama. Attack anybody, but it's all drama with Joe. You got fucking that doesn't make any sense. And I'm on the most recent stream that some of those guys are on with Sean, and you see Tony in the chat, and he's fucking attacking Casey is Raw, and Casey's actually in there donating to Sean and just picking at Bullfrog, but you have fucking Tony saying all this horrible shit. He called Casey is Raw a clout chaser.
Also, do you notice how some faggot out there has chosen to use Mars Mira's identity?
Yeah, I see that shit. Whenever something chaotic goes down and there's no sub-only mode going on in the chat, I see that fake Mars Mirror quite often, actually.
Imagine, well, actually, here's the thing. I'm not going to, if I was to ask you this, it would literally require you to castrate yourself. I could never ask an actual man to do that. But the thing is, though, consider this in the Twilight Zone sort of way. A world where somebody is so triggered by Mars Mirror not giving them the time of day, they've got to make a fake account about them and talk shit. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. I know who you are winking at you. You know who I am, but I know what you're fucking doing. I'm not going to say your name, but you know. Okay, I caught you again. Shut the fuck up. Continue, Cman.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, I'm looking through the shit that Tony's saying in this chat.
Is he in our chat right now?
No.
In the other chat.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, do you think that pussy would show up and challenge us at the same time? He can barely handle one.
Yes, he would. He would. He's that fucking arrogant. He'd go in the chat and be like, "Well, fuck you. You're a bunch of faggots. Like, why don't you call in?" No, I'm gayer than that. I don't have to call in. That's what he would say.
It's amazing. We would call in and challenge him man to man and have an actual discussion, but I have yet to see that fucker call in here. The only time he's called in here was to suck your dick when he thought the opportunity presented itself. When YR was surrendering.
Well, he admitted that. Remember when he actually said that on the stream after? He's like, "Yeah, I just said that to just keep Dave cool and stuff like that." It's like, oh, you can't be a man. You can't just actually say, "Dave, fuck you. I disagree with you, and that's the way it is. You wanted to hang up on me? Do it." Yeah. No, he can't do that shit. No, that would take actual testicles and a testosterone level that's over 5.
Yeah, I'm seeing this thing in the chat from the Sean's View chat. Looks like he's getting ready to leave the stream. He's saying goodbye and good night. Hashtag new era. Hashtag Shawnee Boy and Tony and the crew. Hashtag takeover. Hashtag y'all are witness. And then the next day, nobody's on with Sean. And then the next day, Sean's not even on. Some new era takeover this is about as successful as Windshield Club 2021.
I guess it's
good stuff, Tony.
Yeah. Got to get that engine checked.
Oh, my God. I wonder if he made action figures of him and Sean yet, because I know he was saying about how Sean's View saved his life the other day.
Well, he was just trying to rub that in because he thinks he's cool, but he's the one who started it off first. You're the one who actually said that Joe Cronin saved your life, and you admitted to him on air. Of course we're going to make fun of you because it is literally the gayest thing ever.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. You would think if Joe saved his life, there'd be a little bit more respect if something were to pop up with Joe.
Yes.
But nope. Goes straight over to Sean's View and starts a fucking hit piece. It's unreal. It's fucking unreal. I don't know who's more delusional at this point when it comes to how they treat people. Like, is it Tony, is it Scott, or is it Joe? Because they all have very similar fucking people skills and how they respond to others that they disagree with.
Yes, I've noticed that as well. The three of them actually embody that very similarly. and you have entitled child. You have somebody who is narcissistic and egotistical, where they are unwilling. That's the big thing. Unwilling to admit. I guess admit would be the best thing. Publicly admit. To themselves, they understand this. They understand exactly what their faults are. But publicly to admit their faults to others would cause a failure and a collapse in their fucking mental state, because the way they see it, in my opinion, is that if they admit that they're wrong with one thing, they're going to be forever criticized for just about anything. But that is reality. If you live in the real world, you understand, yeah, you might be called out on certain things, and you got to sort of answer them. They've lived such privileged lives, and they're so self-absorbed that even the possibility of being questioned, not just being questioned, but just the idea of being questioned, the possibility. So, for example, Joe Cronin doing a show where he might take a call and somebody might call in and actually call him out for this shit, makes him fucking rage. So it doesn't even let them get to the point where they're willing to discuss these things. They get to the point just imagining things, and they freak out, never allowing that possibility to occur.
Yeah, I'm 100% on board. That's the exact observation that I've made, and not even just observation, because 2 out of the 3 people that we listed, I should say, is I've had not personal interactions. I've had interactions with live on calls, and that's just what's happened every time. I'm gonna send you something. It's a screenshot, and we don't have to go on it, but I found this. And I was like, this contradicts some shit that was said.
Well, then, of course we're going to fucking show it.
Well, I'm going to send it to you, and I want you to tell me what you think is wrong with this. And you would think that, considering what the topic is about, that the timelines would add up and some of the shit that was made a fuss about would make sense. But can't wait to get backlash for this one.
So I'm a little distracted as well because it just started raining and they didn't call for any rain today. So
yeah, I'm seeing.
Maybe we'll get some thunderstorms or something. It was fucking hot, 100 degrees.
Jesus.
So what is this? This is Tony something.
Yes, I found that was on his Twitter, which he privated.
Oh yeah, please. While I set this up, please just walk people through what happened there.
Oh, so the other day I did that stream after Tony and Joe's falling out, and the thumbnail I used, I found it. So all you have to do is type in Tony from Revere. I was looking for a thumbnail, and I typed in Tony from Revere on Google Images, and the first thing that pops up, it'll take you to his fucking Twitter. So I'm like, all right, let's find something funny here, and then I found the fucking picture of Tony and Joe as action figures. Winning a tag team match and celebrating in the ring, and this fucking faggot posted it proudly on his Twitter. So I found that, but I also, when I was going through, and this has to do with his dad. I'm not trying to shit on his dad, anything like that. This is just me pointing out more timeline inconsistencies with Tony, and I'm not the only one. There's someone in the chat who regularly does it. I think it's Extreme Shaft that points out the weird inconsistencies. But I'm just going to read the first line of this because I don't want to get into the personal stuff. But Tony says, my dad gave me my first piano when I was 5 years old. If you remember, anytime Tony talks about his dad, it's always that he was out of his life until Tony was 7, like he was in a coma. So how does this work? How can his dad give him a piano while he's in a coma? I'm confused. And if you go through this dude's Twitter, you'll find a whole bunch of contradictions on a regular basis. Like there's something about him eating fucking wings and he's supposedly a vegetarian. And like if you want the evidence that this dude's just a fucking fake, he can't even keep up with his own narratives that he spins. There's so many inconsistencies. And you would think with the stink that was made regarding Tony's dad that he would have a direct timeline of all that's happened. Now, I'm not trying to attack his dad. That's not my thing. That's why I didn't want to talk about anything else that was said in that. I don't feel right doing that. But that first line there where I got my piano when I was 5, that doesn't add up. There's all these fucking lies and inconsistencies. If you also look at his Twitter, you'd think some famous rock star who's retired would have more than like 30 followers. So there's just so much shit here that I don't understand how. Does he not see any of this shit? I don't get it.
He does.
I don't.
He does. That's the thing, though. This is the Oliver Twist of the community, the evil Oliver Twist. This is the little orphan that cried Wolfpack, and he's trying to, as I've always said, the whole Mark Skunty thing. I don't know if you ever followed the whole mythos of that, but Scott is, Skunty, but I knew a guy who was identical to him as a kid, and his name was Mark, and I've now made the character Mark Skunty. But this guy would lie about everything, and he would, just like Scott, just like Tony, would sort of, the best way I can describe it is puff. Okay, you call him out on something, he puffs out his chest and doubles down. And it's so bullshit that everyone's looking around like, is anybody going to call him out on this shit? Because, and this is like 6, 7, 8-year-olds. It's like, this is a little too much. Like, he claimed he lived in a condo and it was like government housing. He claimed like he had like a camcorder and like it was a total lie. And it was just all these things that every time you confront him, and even to the point where it's like, we'd have discussions with the guy, be like, you don't have to lie to us. We're your friend. Like, it's cool. And he would still fucking double down. This is what these people do.
This is where I think Jesse saw the writing on the wall with this guy, is because Jesse was picking up on this shit going down. This is my assumption, interpretation. I'm not speaking to Jesse. I don't even talk to Jesse. I've only had minimal interaction. But this is what I think Jesse's original, why he was not liking Tony or whatever the fuck happened, was because he saw that this dude just constantly lies and makes shit up and can't take ownership for the piss. What's up?
You are ignoring the power of the Force. I know that you can see the power of the Force. I know that you are sort of blocking it off, because think back to the first time that Tony showed himself on a Joe Cronin show. The fucking stream got lit up by fucking neon lights. What kind... At that point, I already knew this is a person who is obsessed with attention and must be, aggrandized and featured. Not just, included. Just doesn't a call like seat filler. Oh, hey, that's funny, whatever. Oh, what'd you say, Dave? Oh, that's that. No, as a fucking staple. Somebody who is going to be the one that was going to be featured. Again, like Jesse, for example, the guy will pull out his bass, or at least I remember he did back in the day. Pull out his bass in the middle of the show and just start playing his shit and fucking grooving, fucking, that was cool and shit. But it was never like, oh, it's time for me to be a bit artist and fucking play music over the actual host. And when they tell me, okay, cut it off, I want to fucking continue. No, fuck you. This is the Tony show.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, you made a fucking wonderful point. This is a guy that really wants attention and wants people to like him and be fans of him. He could have that potentially if, one, he stopped being a fucking scumbag and flip-flopping and this, that, and the other. Two, was just himself and not proclaiming to be this character. Maybe he actually isn't fucking self and he is just a scumbag. That's a possibility too. And then you have 3, learn to just respect other people and treat them like fucking humans. Every time I have tried to be real with this dude, he just pisses right in my fucking face. And it's like, what the fuck do you want? It's the same thing. This is why I made the comparison between him, Scott, and Joe, is that if you are not enemies with his enemies, if you're not friends with his friends, and if you don't go with every fucking single thing that dude says as God-written gospel, then you're a problem, and you're a fake, and you're a liar, and you don't know what you're talking about, and show the clips. Well, I got those clips, Tony. It goes worse than that.
Cman, here's the thing that it goes worse, and this is what people need to understand, is that on a level playing field, when we have a discussion, like, say, even just me and Cman, point, counterpoint, patience, we wait, response, so forth. But more importantly is there's no dismissal of opinion. There's no...
Bingo.
It's like, yeah, I disagree with you, but guess what? here are the reasons why. It's not, I disagree with you because you're a fucking moron. Like, what kind of moron thinks of this? Like, oh my God, let me play my piano. Now, that's what fucking Tony does. Tony will, in full respect and honesty, you approach him like an equal person, and you present information that counters what he said. So he said something that obviously was incorrect. So out of respect for yourself, that's a very important thing a lot of people don't have. Respect for yourself and respect for others. You approach him honestly and present this. And what is his reaction? To violently leash? What's the word I'm looking for?
Lash.
Lash. Thank you. Lash out at you because he doesn't want that topic brought up. Not because it's wrong, not because it's factually incorrect, because you mentioned something that now exposes him to something that he would have to address if he couldn't cover it up.
Yeah, which I don't understand, because those types of conversations, the disagreements and the arguments and the battle of ideas, that's what makes for good fucking podcast entertainment. I don't. Why do you want to be a podcaster that avoids arguments and actual discussion, and then also doesn't put any focus on the actual voice and is just worried about cameras and showing that he smokes weed and plays a piano? Like, I don't understand this dude at all. You would think for a guy that wants to be liked so much that he would do things that make him or even just respectable.
No, he needs an echo chamber, and he needs a safe space, just like Scott McKinnon and just like Joe Cronin. These individuals specifically cannot step into the Coliseum with a gladiator or with lions. And as such, they need to feel protected no matter where they are. And if they don't, well, then you are the criminal for not giving them the fucking padded room to make them feel good.
Yeah. You're right on the money. I can't argue against that. I cannot argue against that. There is one other thing I wanted to mention. I wanted to see what your thoughts were on it. Did you watch Insomniac last night?
I've watched portions of it, not through entirely, but I did watch a big portion.
Did you get to where Tommy called in?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Do you think that Danny MT is in his fucking ear telling Tommy to say this shit? Because like, this is the only way Danny's able to get his fucked up bullshit out there, is by trying to manipulate Tommy.
It does seem very probable, and I'm saying probable as opposed to possible, because we know that Danny's on the outs, and we know that he's sort of simmering there on the Gargut show. But Tommy, again, he wants to be friends with as many people as possible. For him, the more friends, the more value he has for his character. And I do believe that he's still open to listening to Danny MT. And because Danny MT is on the outs with Joe, Danny MT is sort of on the outs with me and other people. And, you know, Tommy doesn't want access to drama and stuff. I can see Tommy sort of allowing this guy to be in his ear to sort of influence things and to try to potentially cause a division between him and Ken.
Yeah, and I don't want to see that, because I know Ken loves Tommy and Tommy loves Ken. So fucking Danny trying to stick his dick in this is fucking disgusting. It really is. Like, this dude is one of the grimiest motherfuckers that I've seen in this community. He took, and this is one of the YR streams that got perma-deleted, I believe, that I wanted for evidence. But he took a private voice message that Tommy sent to Danny because he was sick of Danny's bullshit. And Danny gave it to fucking YR and Tony to play live on the air. And fucking, I believe Tommy hates YR. So that's like the last guy that if
Tommy
you had any love... Yeah, if you had any love or respect for Tommy NC, you would not do something like that. So I believe that the conclusion that people have drawn about Danny just leeching off of Tommy for whatever the fuck, I believe that that's genuinely what is going on. I don't understand how this dude he'll go and threaten people's lives, the steak dinner, this, that, and the other, in the guise of protection of Tommy, but then he hands a private message that Tommy sent him over to fucking YR and Tony, two of the biggest fucking scumbags that the community. Well, Danny's a scumbag himself, so I'm not surprised. It's amazing. Those guys all coagulated together. The Drama Club 2021 people. It's all the biggest fucking shitters in the community, and they all clusterfucked into one spot and did what they did. It's unreal. I wish some of those streams were still up because there's a lot of fuck shit in there that I myself could have covered, or Dave, I think you could have covered, because there was stuff lobbed out at you through there. There was stuff that was thrown out at Ken and Mars and Nikki, of course, because they got to fucking throw out digs at whoever the fuck they can. It's a shame that stuff got lost because it's more nails in the coffin of some of these guys. Especially with Scott being on there, because you covered a good chunk of this, the Scott stuff from Drama Club 2021, but I wish some of that Danny shit was still out there, man, because he's another one that I'd love to just fucking just to exile, and I believe it's righteous, the amount of harm that's been caused, fucking threats and some of the shit he's pulled with Tommy. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that it's just amazing. These people that stand out as the psychos, it's amazing how much character traits they share amongst each others. And when we name them, it's just different names to a same body. You got fucking Scott McKinnon, you got Danny MT, you got Joe Cronin, you got fucking help me out here, Tony. Yeah, like you have these people that inhabit the sorry, I'm a little stoned.
You're good.
They inhabit the same sort of traits as each other to the point where they're so similar that it's really hard. If you were just to not know what they look like, it'd be very difficult to differentiate between who's who because they're doing almost the exact same thing.
Yeah, and I think what the difference maker is if you load them up on alcohol or not, because you'll see both Scott and Danny are fucking chronic alcoholics, and they all do the threats and the I'm going here and steak dinner and I got everybody's addresses, man, and
Yeah, but Joe does it too, and he's not fucking jacked on the alcohol or even the weed. He does it fucking sober.
You know what? That's actually, I was getting ready to disagree on the threats, but he technically did say he was going to go to Revere to kick Tony's ass. Not that I have a problem because it's Tony. I don't feel bad.
But he's gone off like, why don't you come to my house? I'll kick your ass. My kids will eat your face.
Yeah, I can't disagree. Part of me wants to, but I can't.
But he never makes these threats fucking inebriated. I would think that's a little more concerning, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Well, Joe does. I'm technically defending him, and I don't mean to, but I know he does puff shit up a bit whenever he's going on those rants. But I also am not
my kids will eat your fucking flesh.
Yeah, that's
it's
a bit out there.
Yeah,
it's a bit out there. I do agree. And Tony, he doesn't. Well, I don't know if he's directly presented threats. It's hard to delete a channel and streams to go back and
sort
find
of has, but more pussy like
more of the
because he has a vagina, so obviously he's going to be more tacit in the way that he threatens. But he said, "Oh, I've got guns and I'll defend myself," and blah blah blah. And it sounds very bullshit because again, this is the guy who says he's renting to own, and he has air conditioners in his windows as opposed to central air. So you can't take too much what he says as fact.
1 year of liberal arts. Let's not forget that part of the puzzle.
I love it. I love it. I love it just because, so Dave Rose sounds arrogant and stuff, but when you start to talk about topics, and we had a great discussion the other day about Pale Horse and all this other stuff.
Yes.
So, we can go deep, and we're not like, oh, I know more than this, or I know more than... No, it's like we're talking normal. But it's Tony who's like, whoa, 1 year liberal college, liberal arts, I know more than you. It's like, but have you ever heard Dave Rose talk about economics, for the last 6 years? Him on fucking on Joe's show where everyone's like, Dave, shut the fuck up, that's boring. It's like, but guys, the economy's doing this and that and both. It's just I have to laugh because it's just so sad. Because people look at me like, Dave Rose, you're such a nerd, blah, 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 this and that. It's like, but you're still not disproving me. So you can disagree with me, but all this stuff that I've talked about, you can't just dismiss. You can't just say Dave Rose claims to be smart. Can most people talk to me about economics or politics or all these other things? No. And, it's not about like, oh, I'm better than you. It's more like, well, you claim that I wasn't smart, but now I want to talk to you on a topic that, is not considered lowbrow, and you refuse? So who's the fucking, the idiot here?
Yeah, I can't argue against it because I see at least with Tony, the behavior pattern of he'll state, well, I'm an honest guy or I'm smart on this talk. Yeah, right. But then there's no behavior or even logical discussion that follows these claims to be indicative.
Remember when he tried to, so he tries to misconstrue this. We were talking about the benefits of eating meat, and he's like, no, it's better to be vegetarian. It's like, well, hold on a second here. Don't go quick there, Bucko. He's like, no, I know this, blah, blah, blah. It was just a year ago that I converted to, eating all this stuff. It's like, well, hold on. I'm 15 years older than you. Do you know about all these different types of diets, all these different types of alternative, constraints and stuff? No, but I know more than you. Like, I've got this Netflix documentary I can send you. It's like, but I've got all these fucking medical books and stuff that I can send you. Oh, Dave, no, you're wrong and stuff. Like, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. It's like, but you never experienced like, my parents were fucking hippies and stuff. Like, they were fucking trying out stuff that you never even knew about. And again, it goes back to what I was saying, is that Tony's the type of guy that will immediately dismiss anybody because he can't comprehend what they're fucking presenting.
Yeah.
And what bigger insult is there than to dismiss somebody's existence through their opinion? Because you can disagree. It's like, okay, well, I don't agree with you. Let's talk. But not like, no, be gone. Be gone. Your opinion means nothing. Because even the drama emperor doesn't fucking do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's where I've gotten to where that's a really good fucking point, because I had disagreements with you a couple months back, but when I called in and came on, and even though I was technically going against you and defending Bullfrog, you were respectful as fuck and heard me out and responded to my points with respects. I have never ever gotten that treatment from Tony a single time. No matter how I present it, I can go the route of being a complete asshole and
you presented him with an olive leaf and he slapped it out of your hands. And that's the same thing that happened with fucking Bullfrog. You try to approach these guys with respect and with admiration, and they fucking insulted you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, Bullfrog. Bullfrog's like fucking retarded, so I'm not surprised that happened. But I guess Tony has to be retarded too if he is exhibiting those same exact behaviors. If you're in leagues with Bullfrog, you're doing the same shit. Yeah, it's not a good look.
What are you talking about, bro? I play the piano, bro. I'm gonna talk to Jim Cornette very soon. Yeah, you should start. Well, you should start some sort of betting, thing. I don't know if you can do that in America. The IRS always tries to tax you on that, but maybe you can figure out some sort of betting system to figure out where Tony will go next. Where in the world is Tony D. Perry?
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious as to where the fuck he goes and what's going to happen next, because nobody could have predicted the Sean's View shit, so I'm just flabbergasted. I wonder if he might, because he's brought up before that he's over in Billy the Fridge's community watching shit. I wonder if he might try to fucking weasel his way into that.
Oh my god, the guy's worse than herpes, worse than AIDS even, just trying to fucking get through every community.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. I do. I kind of, part of me hopes that he does come back, because then I can cover more stupid shit of his.
Oh, Tony, Mr. I wear tinted glasses inside. I'm so cool.
So how do you?
What?
I was gonna ask, how do you think this Joe and Drew shit's gonna go? Like, is it going to go the usual route that these type of things do, or is something gonna like cause it to cease and not escalate?
I think Drew is tired of this shit and doesn't want to continue to have to deal with it. And I don't blame him. But yeah, basically, Joe is trying to make it look like what's it called? that Drew is the bad guy here, and that because of my mistake of letting Ken on, and them speaking amicably, now Drew's getting shit because Joe's a pussy? No. Unacceptable, dude. Grow the fuck up. Oh, 40-year-old men making, videos on other 40-year-old men. How about a fucking 35-year-old man mans the fuck up, stops acting like a little Peter Pan, and accepts the fact that, yeah, maybe one of his friends can like somebody that you don't like, and you can get the fuck over it.
Yeah, there's no other solution to it aside from that. It's like it's either Joe's got to just fucking learn to be okay with it when this happens, because it's not fair to expect your friends to stop being friends with other people for whatever the fuck the reason is. That's something that I would expect like from kids in junior high. So like it's either got to be I wonder if Drew's just going to end up like just being done and washing his hands of it and no longer engaging in any format, just because it's and Joe's not going to stop though. If it goes that route, it'll still be, because you hear even the other monetize this, the most recent one, there's still shots being slung at fucking JB, and JB's nowhere to be found.
Shout out to the Sparrows who sent that information to me, that yeah, there was a few things that were said about me, a few things that were muted. Very interesting. It's funny that I have yet to ever mute my show, other than when I have to cough my lungs out for smoking. But don't smoke, kids. But other than that, like, I don't mute myself. I certainly don't try to mute any jokes that might be considered a little blue. And if I talk shit about somebody, I want people to hear me talk shit about you.
Oh yeah, they said shit about you. I apologize for cutting you off there, but I can't remember what it was specifically, but you got brought up, Joe muted, and then when he came back, Jake was saying something about, no, I want it to be slower than that, maybe something like a car fire.
Yes.
And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that was specifically in reference to me. And Jakey there with all that extra flabby flesh, feeling quite jelly of skinny old Dave. But, it was clear that Joe muted that, spoke about me. And again, he's slipping the jab, Rock. Slipping the jab. Can't fucking be honest. Like, when I'm honest about Joe, it's honest about Joe, But this guy is just... he really doesn't care. He would rather, be ambiguous and deal with being a pussy, I guess.
Yeah, I can't argue against it. I'm going to close with this. I need to go eat and get my air conditioner turned back on because it is starting to get fucking hot. But it looks like I can now be officially added to the fake fucks who join people who do 10-hour streams on Joe.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Another one to the list.
Shit. You ain't joking. Thank you for doing this with me, Dave. I had a good time, and I like the conversation flowed real well. Let's do this again.
Yeah, sounds good. Maybe next time we could talk about other stuff, conspiratorial stuff.
Yes, I'm on board.
Right.
But I'm gonna get going. I'll be listening if you still keep going, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks for the call, and thanks for joining us. And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take calls. If anyone wants to call in, we'll give it 5 minutes, maybe. If anyone wants to call. Actually, here's what I'm going to do is, because I was actually doing this prior to Cman's call, I'll continue to do this. Skype lines are open if anyone wishes to add to it. So, where we last left off, Devious Dave Rose was describing what was going on in the chat that Bullfrog had sent him. So, let's see here. Okay, so Bullfrog said, yes, I mentioned you several times. I say, timestamp, you dumb fuck. You can't prove it. Didn't happen. Then he says, I'm trying to look up for the proof right now. Ken watched Sean last night. Ken saw the whole thing. And I say, how about show the fucking proof? In capital letters. Then I reply with, I think I'm going to convince Ken to call your brother live on Friday Night Fire tonight. And I did try to convince him, but Ken wasn't feeling too gutsy. So I might have to work with his wife to ply some alcohol into him. You know, give him that chutzpah, that fucking courage. And maybe we can actually get a live call with Jason Goodson, who is Jeremiah Goodson's brother, a.k.a. Bullfrog. And Bullfrog says, call Ken, he's my proof. And I say, I'm done with your shit. And that should have actually come prior to what he said, because then I replied to what he just said, saying, no, in big capital letters. You prove it. Fuck you. He's like, Dave, I'm telling the truth. And I say, like I said, you can't prove it. And in big capital letters, never happened. And I respond with, like I said, and again in caps, fuck you. Then I respond with, can't wait to talk to Jason. Tell him all the vile, dirty shit you've done. Maybe get Shell on the call, or Amanda, or the guys you've harassed. And he responds with, he's not part of the community. And me and Shell are fine. And I respond with, you, period, are, period, done, period. And then in big caps, done. And then he replies with, and me and Amanda are friends. I'm not done. I'm not doing anything wrong. And then I say, you are done. And you've done a lot wrong. And I have the proof and witness testimonies to back me up. People were willing to pay for a Bullfrog tribunal, so I got all the evidence. Maybe that's what I gotta do. And he replies with, me and Shell and Amanda are friends. We're cool, and my brother isn't part of the community. And I reply with, I was told I would be paid a minimum of $500 to do it. And you know more people would pay for it too. Done. I might be able to rake in at least $2,000+ for doing a tribunal on you. Just presenting evidence freely available on YouTube. What do you think Jason will say about that? Or your folks? Now it really triggers him. Leave my parents alone! And I reply with, fuck you, liar. He's like, my dad won't answer your calls neither. Well, my brother. That's what he said. I guess he meant, or my brother. You are wasting your time. And I reply with, you ain't shit. I can send a letter. I can send a process officer. Hell, I can send a telegram with a singing clown. And technically, I can. He's like, go ahead. I don't shit anymore. That's what he said. Go ahead. I don't shit anymore. And I say, you have no power over me. Of course you do shit. And there are repercussions. His response is, dude, I'm telling the truth. Scott was on the show last night. And my response is, are you stupid? I told you to provide proof. If you can't provide that on your own, you are a liar. End of discussion. I reviewed the video on my stream, for fuck's sake. I heard almost all of it. Then he sends the link of the video and he's like, I guess 3 hours, 7 minutes. Timestamp where Scott came on the show. I'm like, yes, stupid. I reviewed it in big capital letters. Now, think. The 4 messages you sent me had you admit to saying certain things, none of which happened. All in caps. He's like, yes, it did. I mentioned your name several times. I told Scott to get off the call or I would call Daddy Dave. Then he tried to call me. It's like, I'm telling the truth. Scott being malicious on Sean's view you last night. I had to get Scott off the call several times. And I say, no proof, liar. Then he says, dude, whatever. I'm done wasting my time with this BS. I'm telling you the truth. Ask Ken. Have a nice weekend. I'm like, bullshit, liar, getting exposed tonight on fire. He's like, I'm gonna be busy watching SmackDown and Rampage afterwards. And I respond with, I don't care, liar. Then he says, I always tell the truth. I've no reason to lie. Have a nice weekend. Bye. And I say, proof or it didn't happen. It's like, prove what? You deserve a cinder block smashed into your skull, Bullfrog. So my response is, timestamps, stupid. He's like, you want me to call in the Ken show to discuss this? I'm like, not going to repeat myself. And no, Ken won't save you or defend you. That's on you. If you can't do it, fuck you. And then he says, dude, whatever. I'm done trying to convince you. Have a nice weekend. I'm like, yes, you are done. And he's like, fuck you. Leave me alone. And I respond with, fuck you, liar. And he still hasn't viewed that message. So quite triggered was the Bullfrog. And Bullfrog, you're not getting away with this. Soon enough, things will happen that will make you change your mood very, very quickly. So, yeah, nobody calling in. Surprising. It is a Sunday afternoon. I would have thought maybe somebody might want to share their opinion, but regardless, I guess that's what the case is. But, yeah, it was great to expose these sorts of things. And it was great to have you all on this stream. We had quite a lot of viewers at one point. We had close to 60 viewers. So, how about that? But yeah, great effort by Cman. We had a great discussion, and we, exposed quite a lot here on today's show. So, on that note, I guess we're gonna pack it in. And I hope you guys have a great evening. Hope you enjoyed the show. And I'm sure the drama Watchtower will be on soon in the future. I'm Davis Dave Rose. I'll talk to you next time.